Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. In the morning we're talking about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allahu khaliqu kulli shay. Allah is the creator of all things. And we discussed that of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created is our deeds, what we do, that which we do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wallahu khalaqakum wa ma ta'malun. Allah created you and that which you do. This is Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam addressing his people. So having said that, with this understanding, does that mean that everything we do is from Allah, whether it is good deeds or bad deeds? Is it all from Allah? No? But Allah is the creator of all things. What's that? The bad is from ourselves and the good is from Allah. Jazakallah khair, mashallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَا أَصَابَكَ مِنْ حَسَنَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Whatever touches you of good, or whatever comes to you of good, is from Allah. وَمَا أَصَابَكَ مِنْ سَيِّئَةٍ فَمِنْ نَفْسِكَ. And whatever touches you or inflicts you of evil, then that is from your own doing. And of course, at the end of the day, all of the decree, everything that happens is by the decree and by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we don't say that, bad things happen from Allah. Only good things happen, from Allah, but everything happens with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And look how Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam had the adab, the discipline in talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, الَّذِي خَلَقَنِي فَهُوَ يَهْدِينِ. The one who created me and the one who guides me. الَّذِي خَلَقَنِي فَهُوَ يَهْدِينِ وَالَّذِي هُوَ يُطْعِمُنِي وَيَسْقِينِ. And he is the one who feeds me and gives me drinks. وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. And if I become ill, then he is the one who cures me. He didn't say, and he is the one who makes me ill and cures me. This is adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But of course he knew that it is all by the decree of Allah. Everything that happens with the decree of Allah. And we were discussing in the Quran halaqah if the decree of Allah can be changed or not. Can the decree of Allah be changed? Can it? It can?
It can. If we do good deeds, we can add years to our life, for example. Because there's one that Allah knows everything, and He already knows that we're going to do that. But there's one other book that we can actually.
There's a story that is mentioned in Ibn Kathir. It is narrated by the authority of Mujahid, who was a tabi'i, and he was a student of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. It is narrated that a woman was giving labor, and she asked her servant to go and get her fire. I'm not sure why, maybe to boil water or something. So he went and he saw a person at the door, and the person told him that the baby that the woman is giving birth to is going to grow up and is going to become a bad person. She's going to commit adultery with 100 men, and then she's going to be killed by a spider. So knowing that, the man goes back, he stabs the woman that's in labor, and he runs away. Years later, he gets into some kind of business, he becomes a merchant, he comes back to the town. And now he has a lot of money, he's not a servant anymore. So he asked people in the town to show him the most beautiful girl in town so he can get married to her. So they told him that this is the most beautiful girl, you're not going to find anyone more beautiful than her. So he marries her, and then he tells her his story. And she tells him, I'm that baby. And she shows him the mark of the stab. So then he told her, that means that you committed adultery with 100 men. She said, I don't know how many, but yeah, there's a lot. He said, okay, you're going to be killed by a spider. She said, okay, since you're wealthy, build for me a tower, a fortified tower, to protect me from that decree. So he builds for her a tower, and then she sees a spider in the ceiling. So she says, oh, that's the spider that's going to kill me, bring it down. I'm going to kill it by myself. I'm going to kill it myself. So they bring the spider down to her, and she steps on it. It splashes, some of the poison splashes. It goes between the nail of her toe and her toe. It becomes infected. Her foot becomes black. She dies because of it. So the point of the story is that no one can go against the decree of Allah. But as Brother Ishaq mentioned, he can change the decree of Allah by making dua, by following the Book of Allah, by following the Sunnah, by making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because dua fights the decree. For example, if it was decreed that someone is going to fall, right? But you keep asking Allah to protect you, then that supplication will fight the decree. Also, the Prophet ﷺ teaches us that Silat al-Raham, being preserving the ties of kinship, tutil al-umr, it elongates the lifespan, or at least puts barakah in the years. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us better followers of His book and the guidance of His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.